Peace be upon you, grade 7 students. Today we are going to start with chapter 3, Respiration of Living Things, worksheet 19, Respiratory Gaseous Exchange. At the end of this video, you will be able to infer that during respiration, animals absorb oxygen gas and release carbon dioxide. Prepare your worksheet, your copybook, and a pencil. In the previous session, we learned that all living things respire to survive. So respiration is a vital function. It is a necessary process for all living things to stay alive. We know that the surrounding air is made up of a mixture of different gases, like nitrogen gas, oxygen gas, and a small amount of carbon dioxide gas. But which gas is absorbed during respiration? And which gas is released during respiration? To answer those questions, we did two different experiments. First experiment was to verify the gas absorbed during respiration. We performed an experiment on a fish, which is an example of a living thing that lives inside the water. The fish was placed inside the water in a test tube. This test tube was connected to an oximeter. But why did they use an oximeter? The oximeter is an apparatus used in order to measure the quantity of oxygen gas in a given medium, in air or in water. The obtained results were recorded in this table. So what does this table show? This table shows the variation of or the change of the quantity of oxygen gas dissolved in water with time, from 0 minutes till 6 minutes. Give a title for the above table. This table shows the variation of the quantity of dissolved oxygen gas in water with time in presence of fish. Now it's time to analyze the obtained results. How much is the quantity of oxygen gas dissolved in water at the beginning of the experiment? It is 7 milliliters. How much does it become at the end of the experiment? It becomes 6.4 milliliters. So how does this quantity vary? Does it decreases, increases, or remains constant? Yes, it decreases. Now answer number 1 in your worksheet. Analyze the table. In presence of fish, the quantity of oxygen gas dissolved in water is 7 milliliters at 0 minutes. It decreases to reach 6.4 milliliters as the time becomes 6 minutes. We notice that the quantity of oxygen gas dissolved in water decreases with time. Why? What causes this decrease? Yes, it is the fish. The fish causes this decrease. Now it's time to answer number 2. Formulate a hypothesis that explains this variation. The fish absorbs oxygen gas from water. Number 3. What do you conclude concerning the gas absorbed during respiration? Living things absorb oxygen gas during respiration. So during respiration, I absorb oxygen gas from water. But which gas is released to the water? In our experiment, we are going to use lime water, which is a solution of calcium hydroxide. But what is the role of lime water? Observe the aspect of lime water before adding carbon dioxide gas. It was clear. What happens after adding carbon dioxide gas? Its aspect changes to turbid, and presence of carbon dioxide gas. So, what is the role of lime water? The lime water is used to identify the presence of carbon dioxide gas. As the experiment shows, in the presence of carbon dioxide gas, it changes to turbid. Now it's time to perform the second experiment in order to verify the gas released during respiration. They used two test tubes. Each one was filled with water. In test tube 1, there was no fish. In test tube 2, the fish stays for a while. After a few minutes, they added lime water to both tubes. What do you observe at the end of the experiment? What happens to the aspect of lime water after adding it to test tube 1? Does it change? No, it stays clear. What happens to the aspect of lime water in test tube 2? Does it change? Yes, it becomes turbid. Answer number 1. Compare the aspect of lime water in test tubes 1 and 2 at the end of the experiment. The lime water in test tube 1 remains clear, while that of 2 changes to turbid. We notice that the lime water becomes turbid. Why? This is due to the presence of carbon dioxide gas in water. What causes the presence of carbon dioxide gas? Yes, it is the fish. Now it's time to answer number 2. Formulate a hypothesis that explains the difference in the aspect of lime water at the beginning and at the end of the experiment. The fish releases carbon dioxide in water. Number 3. When the fish is replaced by a starfish, the same results were obtained. Note that the starfish is an aquatic animal. It lives inside the water. Draw out a conclusion. So the starfish released carbon dioxide gas in water. As a conclusion, in water, aquatic animals absorb oxygen gas and release carbon dioxide gas. So during respiration, I absorb oxygen gas from water and I release carbon dioxide gas to the water. What about human and animals that live on the land? Which gas is absorbed and which gas is released to the air? In order to answer this question, we are going to compare the composition of the inhaled and the exhaled air in an adult person. The inhaled air, which is the air that enters our body, is made up of 79% nitrogen gas, 21% oxygen gas, and 0.03% carbon dioxide gas. While the air that leaves our body, which is the exhaled air, is made up of 79% nitrogen gas, 16% oxygen gas, and 5% carbon dioxide gas. Let us answer number 3. Compare the composition of the gases in inhaled air to that in exhaled air. Draw out a conclusion. Note that to compare numbers, we should use the following terms: more than, less than, or equal to. And don't forget that your conclusion should be general. The percentage of nitrogen gas in the inhaled air is 79%, which is equal to that in the exhaled air, which is 79%. While the percentage of oxygen gas in the inhaled air is 21%, is more than that of the exhaled air, 16%. While that of carbon dioxide in the inhaled air, which is 0.03%, is less than that of the exhaled air, which is 5%. So why does the percentage of nitrogen gas remains the same during respiration, because our body doesn't use nitrogen gas during respiration. What about the oxygen gas? Why does it change? Why does it decreases during exhalation? Because our body absorbs oxygen gas during respiration. What about the carbon dioxide gas? Why does the quantity of carbon dioxide gas increases during exhalation? Because our body releases carbon dioxide gas. So, what do you conclude? As a conclusion, during respiration, living things absorb oxygen gas and release carbon dioxide gas without using nitrogen gas. So during respiration, living things that live on the land, which breathe from the surrounding air, they absorb or take the oxygen from the air and release or give carbon dioxide gas to the air. This process of absorbing oxygen from the air and releasing carbon dioxide to the air is called gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange between the living thing and the surrounding medium, which is the air. Now it's time to define respiration. So respiration is a process of gaseous exchange between the living thing and its surrounding medium, air or water, by which the organism absorbs oxygen gas and releases carbon dioxide gas. As a summary, what is the role of oximeter? The oximeter is an apparatus that allows us to measure the quantity of oxygen gas present in a given medium, water or air. What is the role of lime water? Lime water is used to identify the presence of carbon dioxide gas. In the presence of carbon dioxide gas, it changes from clear to turbid. What happens during respiration? During respiration, living things absorb oxygen gas and release carbon dioxide gas without using nitrogen gas. Let us define respiration, which is a process of gases exchange between the living thing and its surrounding media, air or water, by which the organism absorbs oxygen gas and release carbon dioxide gas. As an assignment, in worksheet 19, underline and memorize the role of oximeter, and number 5, copy and memorize the role of lime water. That's all. Hope that you enjoyed listening and watching. Stay safe.